Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri, and is the world's first single barrel only liquor store. This business is owned and operated by Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution list. That way you'll know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and what barrel picks they have in the works. We are also sponsored by The Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for yourself, a customized gift, or logo items for your business or event, The Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. Use the number 2 when you type out The Bar to Go. Did you know Neely Family Distillery now ships its popular distilled spirits directly to you? To order, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today we have a special show where we're going to be trying some Fortuitous Union as it's presented to customers, and then getting in the Wayback Machine and trying it before it was actually barrel aged. Hey Jim, how you doing, man?
Great, Steve. How about yourself?
Doing great. We are here at the ABV Barrel Shop. We're at the tasting bar, and we've got kind of a cool one. So this comes about accidentally, really. We had been at Neely Family Distillery many years ago, and Turner Wathen was there, and he was doing some blends, and he said he's doing what'll be the next batch release. But it'll be a couple of years and down the road, and it was kind of a cool thing. So we got to taste it. It was very good, and I didn't realize this, but he gave Neil Robinson I don't know, a 200 milliliter bottle or whatever it was. He gave him a sample of it, and Neil has held on to that. And ultimately, he thought it'd be kind of cool to taste side by side whenever the product ultimately got released. Well, we got to buy a barrel of that. So how they do it is they do the blend, and then they put it in a barrel. In our example, it's an ex-Weller barrel, and then it sat for 2 years. So this is now 2 years later, and we get the opportunity to taste it. Just as it was mixed up, as it was blended, and then afterwards where it has gone through the process of barrel aging in a used bourbon barrel. So should be fun. Before we get to that, Jim, you said you had a question. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I had the shop here Saturday night. You were off, and we had some crazy weather here. We had, I think, 7 tornadoes touch down in the greater St. Louis area.
Right.
Thankfully no deaths or serious injuries, but just what is your take, like your experiences with tornadoes growing up in the St. Louis area? I've had 3 really close calls,
right,
and just seeing what you've experienced.
I'm different than you. I don't even think about tornadoes. I don't think they're really much of a factor, much of an issue. I don't feel like St. Louis is a hotbed for tornadoes. 7 touchdown. What happened? A couple people lost some shingles. A tree fell down. Was anybody hurt? No. Was anybody killed? No. When's the last time someone got killed from a St. Louis tornado? I don't know that that's happened in my lifetime. I'm 55 years old. In St. Louis, I don't think it's happened.
Yeah, and I'm not saying
It's a big storm.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about it. I don't go to the basement, whatever. I literally go to my front porch and watch them come through.
But people get very upset about these and all that. But I think what the thing is, I think St. Louis is too populated, and what I mean by that is, I think without wide open spaces like you see in Kansas or even across the river, there's that open farmland in Illinois. Without that big open spaces, I don't think they pick up enough steam to be that dangerous. And we had one a couple of years ago, went through Sunset Hills and stuff like that. But again, was it that bad? Devastating? Not really.
Yeah, from a loss of life standpoint, we've been very lucky here. We've had, definitely in Missouri, we've had some pretty
Joplin got hit
pretty bad stuff like that. Yeah. But I like in general, I just like to watch them, and people freak out about them.
People do.
I don't. I enjoy. Like I said, I've had 3 close calls. Only one of those was near Kansas, and that one, the car I was in, got totaled from hail damage. So that one was pretty ugly. But in general, I just think they're cool. Cool to see. But yeah, people in the St. Louis area, either like you or me, they either don't care at all, or just the opposite. Everybody down to the basement, hunker down, and.
I was home. It was kind of a 2-part event. The first one ended up really literally being kind of nothing. and then part 2, so in the morning and then in the evening. And really, where I live, we didn't even get a whole lot of rain even on either one. So I just happened to be in the good area where it missed it. But I did go to a barbecue place where I buy my barbecue supplies in Crestwood, and that ended up being kind of a hotbed. That was one of the areas where they had some activity, and it was looking pretty dark there. We were like, we're just going to head home. We thought about doing some other stuff. We're like, we're just going to head home. I think that was a good call.
Well, it's kind of funny. I had at least 4 people come in shopping during that weather. And we were right on the edge. Like, the sky was green as green could be. You look out the window here. But we had Kristen come in, one of our regulars, and she was funny because she was fine. She didn't care. She's like, she made it in right when it started to rain, and then it was just coming down, raining sideways. And I think her mom must have, texted her or called her, at least 3 or 4 times, making sure she was safe and and she didn't want to tell her mom where she was at. She's like, I can't tell her I'm sitting in a liquor store having some samples, and all these things going on. So,
but yeah, like me, I feel very safe. Like if we had a tornado going on in St. Louis, I feel very safe in here, even though they'd be like,
it's all brick building. I feel pretty good.
Yeah, we've never had one bad enough here in St. Louis again that would tear down a building like this. Again, we've seen some damage to some stuff. And I know they can certainly be that way. This is a building that could be torn down if you get the right situation. But
statistically, we're fine.
Statistically, we're good. I'm a poker player. I like to play the stats, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, you play the odds, you're good. You're good. So cool. Well, what we're going to do next? We're going to take a break. And then when we come back, we're going to be trying these 2 Fortuitous Union side by side. One is a barrel pick for the ABV Barrel Shop. The other is this experimental thing, if you will, because it was done before it ever hit a barrel. So we'll do that in just a few. Let's talk about the people who make these shows happen. First up is the ABV Barrel Shop. It is the most unique shopping experience in the world of bourbon, as the ABV Barrel Shop only sells single barrels. Owners Steve Akeley and Jim Fosnot select. With over 100 distilleries on board to sell us barrels, we are home to the most unique and diverse barrel pick selections in the bourbon world. By signing up for our email, you will always know what we have in stock. In addition to the single barrels, we'll have a gift shop featuring ABV Barrel Shop as well as ABV Network merchandise. We are partnering with vendors like Art Eatables and Old Man Bay Signs to bring you unique items you can't find anywhere else. We will also have a 24-seat classroom where we are offering educational and fun classes like Breakfast and Bourbon, a series where we pair donuts and bourbon, customer barrel picks, and opportunities to learn from master distillers and other bourbon dignitaries. Best of all, we feature a tasting bar where you can try before you buy. All of this is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. If you are in the St. Louis area, please stop by to say hi. If you're traveling in from outside the area, please take advantage of our hotel rates with the Drury Inn and Pear Tree Inn, less than a mile from our shop. This can be done via the links in our Visit St. Louis section on our website. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to plan your trip. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. Hi, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network. We're sponsored by the Stave and Thief Society. This is where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge a bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification program available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Okay, let's talk about the Neely Family Distillery. In 2018, I met Royce Neely at an industry event. He started appearing on our shows, and we became friends during my frequent trips to Kentucky. Today, he is amongst the leaders of young distillers leaving their mark on the bourbon industry. A visit to Neely Family Distillery yields insight on their unique family history, why their products are special, and gives you the opportunity to taste their whiskey, moonshine, and creams. Check them out at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com or visit them in Sparta, Kentucky.
I'm MacLeod. Don't mix your grain and grapes. Not a good time. You're listening to the Bourbon Daily.
All right, everybody, welcome back. This is Steve Akeley. I'm here with Jim Fosnot. We are at the ABV Barrel Shop Tasting Bar, and we have the base. This is the rye whiskey, which of course that wasn't a barrel. Maybe I was saying that wrong. It's a rye whiskey that was blended with 3 different styles of rum, and then ultimately that is taken and then aged in a barrel for 2 years. So let's try that base first and see what we got here.
I mean, first thing, it's definitely lighter in color.
Oh yeah, for sure. For sure. So it's almost, I would say, blondish in color. And you're starting to get on some amber notes in the one that's had, even though it's a used barrel, but 2 years in that used barrel adds definitely some more color to it. On the nose.
Ooh, that's good on the nose.
It is.
Fruity.
And rummy. I mean, it's definitely got some buttery rum notes for sure on the nose. All right, let's taste it. Okay. I got to say, now I know what ours tastes. This is a barrel pick. We picked the barrel. We've had the barrel pick in here for a while. I like what's going on there. I like our barrel pick way better. The time in that barrel definitely smoothed things out and took the edge off, and there's a little bite to it.
Yeah, this has a bite. Has almost a little bitterness on the backside that does not exist in the barrel pick at all.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah. This is very front of the palate to me. Not a whole lot going on the backside.
Yeah. It is a little warm,
sharp,
too. Yeah, it's sharp. All right. Let's switch over now. This is our barrel pick. This is available at the ABV Barrel Shop. And let's give this one a taste. Man,
it's a big difference.
That's case closed right there. I mean, if anybody's like, does it really make a difference? Or why would you do that? Or just release it. Just blend it and release it. That 2 years in that barrel made a huge difference. So
hats off to Turner. I mean, whoever thought it? I know the original part was a mistake, but then they decided to age it in barrels, and he does several different types of barrels, right?
Oh yeah,
because we get the Weller barrel. He does a Buffalo Trace.
Buffalo
barrel.
Trace, yeah. So it's always in some sort of cool barrel that he gets, and So. I think this is a great product. We're happy to have some of this in the shop here, and and it's a great value too, $55 bottle. So yeah, really good stuff. So yeah, check this one out. Be sure to get by the shop, and thanks to Neil Robinson. This is something I forgot. I do remember the day when Neil brings me the samples and say, "Don't forget, we saw this when this was going on." We hung out right at Neely. Turner was doing this actually back in the Rick House. And we hung out back there and talked to him, and I remember that day well. I did not get a sample myself. If I did, maybe I drank it. I don't know. I didn't have any of this. I didn't even remember that it existed. It's very cool. So good stuff.
Very good.
All right, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Jim, we're going to start with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Jim Fosnot, on Instagram at FosJim, or most days hanging out here in Arnold at the ABV Barrel Shop with you, Steve.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. We put all of our previous shows out there. We put our blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. Come by and see us. As Jim mentioned, ABV Barrel Shop. That's where you can usually find us. It'll be great to see you. At a minimum, just sign up for our email distribution. You'll know what's going on then. Maybe you can plan a trip if you got to travel in. You can do that at abvbarrelshop.com. And also, get involved with the show. Please give us a 5-star review. It helps new people find the show. That's pretty darn important to us. And if you like what we're doing, head over to patreon.com/the ABV Network. On that note, we'll let you go for now, and we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Cheers.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's talk about some great companies that support the ABV network. First up is Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you want to experiment on the stove in your kitchen or you're looking for a bigger setup in your backyard, owner Russell Creed and his team can help. They have multiple still offerings, accessories, and even grain from their partners at Goldstone Mill to assist you in making whiskey on par with your favorite distillery. They can also help you with some fabricated parts you probably can't make yourself if you are attempting a DIY still project. Learn more or order your still or parts at moonshinestillpro.com. Last but not least is the ABV Barrel Shop. While we don't get to play in the allocated bourbon game because we aren't selling the other products you have to do to get those, we do have access via our friendships in the bourbon industry to some really cool stuff. Have you ever seen your favorite craft distiller selling some really cool limited offerings only in their gift shop? I'm talking things like the hazmat offering Distillery 291 did for their 10th anniversary, or Neely Family Distillery's Papaw's birthday barrel. They don't have enough of it to send it out to distributors, so they only sell it via their gift shop. Well, companies like Distillery 291 and Neely Family Distillery have agreed to sell us 2 or 3 cases of these offerings moving forward, meaning our store will have the access to some of the rarest whiskeys in the world. Way more difficult to come by than the allocated bourbon offerings with a national release. Yes, they will be extremely tough to come by, but if you're a customer of our store, you'll have a chance to get them. Get signed up for our email or text list over at abvbarrelshop.com so you don't miss out.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.